So I bought an Oculus Quest 2 VR headset and I want to go over the pros and cons and some of the things that I've been playing on this headset with you guys. I know I'm a little late, this is a little bit old, but here's my review of the Oculus Quest 2. Let's get it.
Do 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 Ozzy's tech and stuff, yeah.
So if for some reason you don't know what the Quest 2 is, this is a VR headset from Oculus that is owned by Facebook. So this is their kind of entry into the VR space, which is starting to get a little bit more competitive now that you have, HTC and you have the PlayStation VR headset coming out, or well, they announced it, but it's getting ready to come out pretty soon-ish. This is their attempt to get into the market, the VR market, which they're probably even leading right now because of this thing, which I'll go over why in a little bit. But yeah, it's a VR headset. You put it on and you're transported into a different world. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and let you guys know that if you enjoyed this video, help me out with a like and subscribe, as it helps me out a ton with my my content and my channel as well. And I will be putting up my affiliate link from Amazon with this Quest 2. So if for any reason you want to purchase one yourself, please use my affiliate link. If you're watching this video, it'll help me out a ton. Although I do have an affiliate link for this headset in the description, I'm going to be giving you my honest and unbiased opinion on this headset itself. I did not get sent this. I bought this with my own money, anything like that. All I have is an affiliate link. That's it. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and talk about some of the pros, cons, and what I'm actually playing on this headset. So buckle in, let's get started. The first pro that I have for this headset itself is the actual price. This headset starts off at $299 here in the US for the 64 gigabyte model, and $399 for the 256 gigabyte model, which is the one I have right here. I decided to go just a little bit more just to get that extra space, and you cannot expand the memory. It is internally wired into the headset. So what you purchase is what you get. So if you're thinking about getting one or the other, think about how much games are you going to put on here, what are you going to save on here, because if you're recording a lot of gameplay and stuff like that, you're going to need a lot of room. So like I said, I went for the 256, but the entry level is $300, and a lot of people that I know, that's the one that they got, and it's working perfectly for them. The second pro that I have is that this headset is completely wireless. It does not depend on any type of PlayStation or PC to power it up. It is completely wireless. You download the games to the actual headset itself and you play them through there. Now, as an added bonus, if you do want to connect it to a PC, something like that I have back there or anything, and use the GPU of your PC to power the graphics, then you can actually purchase an optional link cable, which you can connect to the PC, and you can use it using the PC, which will up the graphics, up the frame rate, and all that stuff. Additionally, Oculus did release their wireless Air Link, I believe it's called, which you can actually connect it to your PC wirelessly. So you don't even need that cable anymore. But it does depend on how strong your Wi-Fi connection is. And if you don't have that great of a Wi-Fi connection, then maybe going wired with the Type-C connector cable is a great option for you. Another pro that I have that some people seem to not like or dislike, but I actually like it, is the built-in speakers that come with the headset. They're right along the side of this, at the edge, actually at the end of here, is a speaker on each one, and it's actually conveniently located right where your ear is supposed to be. And depending on what game, you'll hear something on your right hand side or on your left hand side, but I actually like it. But if you don't like the headset, you can always connect your own headset using the auxiliary port right there. So that's a really big plus, in my opinion, that they added that option to connect wired headphones. But if you kind of just do the wireless thing, the speakers are not bad. I have heard a lot of people complain about them, but I personally don't think they're bad. Which reminds me, just showing you that I want to show you the actual ports on the headset itself. So there's the auxiliary port. If I can go ahead and get myself out of it, auxiliary to connect your headphones in, the power Type-C to power it up. You do have the power button right here and the volume switch on the bottom of the headset. That's pretty much about it. You do have the cameras in the front of the headset itself to help track the controllers. So there's that, and then you have the actual lens in the back. So this is pretty much stock Oculus Quest 2. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and continue with the pros. Another pro that I have for you guys is the actual controllers themselves. These controllers are really comfortable, and they come with these triggers on the side and triggers on the top. And they do come with buttons that I'll go ahead and show some B-roll of, 2 analog sticks, 2 buttons on each side, and 2 menu buttons as well. So you do have the Oculus button on the right hand controller, and you do have a menu button on the left hand controller. And depending on what game you're playing, they do different things to navigate the game or to navigate the actual UI itself. So these controllers are really comfortable, and they come with this little strap on the bottom, which you just kind of place your hand in like so. Place your hand in like that. You can tighten it if you want, and they're secure on your hand right here. Now I know you can buy third-party accessory grips that you can put on there that give a little bit more grip on here, but this is actually a pretty good controller, and it reminds me of the soft plastic that you find on like a DualShock or an Xbox controller or something like that. But it's pretty cool, and it does take only one battery. That is a pro in my book, but also a con because the batteries on this thing are not very great. So I would say buy some rechargeable batteries if you don't already have one, but it does take one, I believe, AA battery. Which one's the big one? AA or AAA? I can never remember. All right, the bigger one. It takes one on each controller, and they don't last too long, but you know, if you have rechargeable, it shouldn't be a big issue for you guys. And kind of the final pro that I have for the headset itself is the design. I just think it's very sleek. I don't know any other headset that has like a super minimal sleek design like this. It does remind me of the PlayStation headset or the PlayStation VR, that it's, you know, white with black. Since the PS5 came out, I really like this design model. So I really hope that they stick to this design right here. Very minimal, but very sleek looking. And I've seen people buy like little stickers that you can put on there where it makes it look like a stormtrooper, or it makes it look like the character from Big Hero 6, or with the eyes and the, I forget, it's Baymax, something like that, but it makes it look like that. So you can kind of customize it with third-party options out there. So I think the design of the headset and the actual controllers are really cool, very sleek and minimal, and I feel like it's a plus in my book. Okay, so nothing's perfect, right? And this headset is, you know, although it's very nice, it's really cool, it has a lot of pros, it does definitely have its cons. And one of the cons that I have with it is that the battery life is just atrocious on this headset. Depending on the game, I can get anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours on the headset. And although I rarely play longer than that, it's kind of a pain to have to plug it in every single time you're done using with it. I wish that they had enough battery to give, you know, at least 4 to 5 hours of gameplay. That way you can have some battery and you don't have to charge it every single time you play it. As well as the controllers, the battery for the controllers. I'm not sure why, but the ones that came with the Oculus, the batteries lasted way longer. Now that I have rechargeable ones, they waste a lot faster. I don't know if that's an issue with the actual battery itself, or do I need to buy high capacity rechargeable batteries or something like that. But the rechargeable batteries don't last that long, and I check the menu and it's always going down. And like I said, I usually play for like an hour every day, sometimes an hour and a half every other day or something like that. But the batteries for the controller waste super fast, as well as the headset. The headset, like I said, only lasts an hour and a half, and that is horrible. So Oculus, if you're listening for some odd reason, if you're watching this video, please give us about 4 to 5 hours of battery. Even if you have to make the headset a little bit bigger, I don't mind. So make the battery last longer, guys. Another con that I have that is equally frustrating is that the headset Although sleek, although it does come with a strap, it comes with this foam padding. It's not very comfortable. And the reason it's not very comfortable is because of this fabric head strap that comes with it. There's no weight to it, so there's no weight distribution. And when you put this headset on, all of the weight is on the front of the device, which puts a lot of weight on your forehead, on your cheeks, and on your nose. So you will feel it after a while of gaming. I feel it after about like 25, 30 minutes. I start to adjust the headset, try to change it up because it's uncomfortable on my face. And as well as this foam padding here, it's not very comfortable. It's very I don't want to say itchy, but it's not soft enough to just sit on your face and you forget it. So that does bother me a little bit. I am looking into getting a new padding from a third party vendor, and actually another head strap to try to make it a little bit more balanced, the weight on my head, because all this is on the front of my head. Like I said, it just doesn't feel great. And if you're playing something that's like moving fast, you're gonna feel that weight on top of your face, and it's not pleasant. Yeah, it's not the most comfortable. And I haven't used any of the other VR headsets. The only other VR headset I used was like the one that they used to give out with the Samsung Galaxy S8 that you put your phone in there, and that one was the worst. That one left a very sour taste in my mouth for VR headsets. Using this one, I can tell you, and by looking at the other ones, this is probably by far the most uncomfortable headset out there. You do need to buy some other accessories to make it a little bit more comfortable. So keep that in mind. It's not very comfortable to wear it for long periods of time. But the battery only lasts an hour and a half anyway, so who cares, right? All right, so let's go into our next con. The next con I have is actually the graphics. Although this thing is, it's a formidable graphics machine as well. You can, play different kind of games and it looks good. It just doesn't look great. I'm gonna talk about a game that I played that the graphics were just very bad, and it kind of took me out of that world in a minute when I talk about that game. But a lot of the graphics are held back because of, I don't know, the power of the headset or the resolution of the actual device itself or the frame rate it runs at. So the graphics are not the best. You can obviously get better graphics if you connect it to your PC and you play a PC VR game. You'll get a better graphics with like that way. But actual on the headset itself, the graphics are not anything to brag about. For something like this, it's not a huge deal for me because I'm just looking to just play something casually. If I want graphics, I'll go to my PC or my PS5. For this one, it's just kind of like just transport me to a different world, and I don't want to think about too much about graphics. But the graphics nerd in me is like, man, just pump out a little bit better graphics. And like I said, I'll mention a game that really threw me out of the world because of that. Normally, it doesn't bother me too much, and my last con it might be a deal breaker for a lot of you people, but it's that you have to have a Facebook account to use the headset itself. It won't let you use it unless you have a Facebook account. There's a disclaimer on the box and everything that says that. So if you have one and don't want to use it, or you don't have one and want to use the headset, you have to create an account. Even if it's like a dummy account, you got to have that account to use the headset, which I don't understand why Oculus and Facebook are forcing people to have it, but it is what it is. I don't see it as a huge deal. I have one and I just signed in, but I know a lot of people do not like this. So if that is a huge deal breaker for you, then I would suggest not getting this headset and getting something else. But I just needed to let you guys know. So now I want to talk about some of the games that I've been playing very briefly. I'll show a little bit of the gameplay, and I'll talk about a couple of the games. Like I said, very briefly. I don't want to make this video too long, but the first game that I've been playing that I actually play a lot of, and it's the game that I actually play the most of out of the ones that I'm going to name, is PokerStars VR. It's basically self-explanatory. It's a VR poker game where you not only can play poker, but you can play blackjack or you can play slots. It's sort of a casino-like game. You sit in different themed tables, and you play poker with other people. You can play, you know, at the 25, 50 tables, or the 100 to 200 tables, or like the $100,000 tables. So I've been thrown into a couple of those by mistake, and I've actually won big on a couple of them, and just kind of I kind of bolt because I you can win big, but you could also lose big in those tables. So, and it's all fake money. It's not real money, but the part of me that loves poker always kind of takes it seriously. There are a lot of people that don't take it as serious as I do, and they kind of play around and stuff like that. But it's I take it kind of serious, you know, enough because I like poker. Like I mentioned, it's not real money, but you can purchase cosmetics or different items or different packs from their store, and it'll give you, sometimes it'll give you coins, and it'll give you different items. And um, there are a lot of items in the game. Like you can actually smoke a cigar in the game, or they have like swords or lightsabers that you can throw and they'll come back to you. So it's not just strictly a poker game. There is some other aspects of the game itself. And if I got to give it a negative, is that sometimes, although there's a disclaimer saying that this is an 18 and over game, there is sort of a lot of little kids playing this game, and they can get a little bit overwhelming. But thankfully, in the settings, you can kind of disable a lot of stuff that gets a little bit annoying later on. So that's PokerStars VR. That's the one that I play the most of to kind of unwind and relax. And it's free. So if you have the Quest, and or you're thinking about getting it, give it a shot. PokerStars VR. Not sponsored, but it's a good game. The next game that I've played somewhat little bit here and there is Real Fishing VR, or Real VR Fishing. One of those, don't quote me, but another one that's self-explanatory. You're fishing on a boat or on a pier or something like that, and that's the first one, the first game that I played that actually blew my mind or took my breath away, because it's actual real backgrounds and backdrops that the developers went and took photos and videos of. So you're actually in a real location. It's not make believe. I believe it's like in Korea, but it looks amazing. Again, that's another game that's kind of hindered by the graphics of the Quest 2, but it still looks good nonetheless. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You cast with one controller and you reel with the other one, and there is catching mechanics. So you have to keep the meter in the middle, or if the fish starts going to the left, you have to drag the reel to the right and stuff like that until you get the fish to you, which grants you well, if you release it, it grants you experience points, or if you keep the fish, it grants you in-game currency that you use to upgrade your rods and your boat and your cabin. You can add different cosmetics to it and stuff like that. And I know that they did add a saltwater update, so now there is saltwater fishing in the game, but I haven't got there yet. It's kind of in the later stage of the game. You have to kind of level up your character, or your experience points or whatever. You have to level that up before you can get to the actual saltwater fishing. So still working on that, and maybe I'll do a video on that game later on sometime and talk about the full experience of VR fishing. But that one is a really calm and relaxing game. That the sounds on that game is, I don't know how they did it, but the sounds on that game when you're sitting on a kayak or in a boat and you hear the water hitting the water and you hear the waves hitting the boat and stuff like that is very, very calming. And one of my favorite things is just going outside of my cabin and sitting on a chair and just looking out into the, I believe it's like a lake or something, but you're looking out into a lake, and it's very calming, and you hear the ambient noise. So it's one of those really relaxing, chill games that I enjoy playing. The next game that I've just beat, but I want to go ahead and play it again, is called Moss. Moss is, just think of it as like Legend of Zelda, but kind of a top view, but it's not as robust as Legend of Zelda. So it's a very RPG light game where you guide this little mouse to go and rescue her uncle or grandfather or something like that. And along the way, fight enemies with a sword, or you solve puzzles. It's a heavy puzzle solving game. So you just, like I said, you just go through this world, and you try to reach the end to save your uncle. So that's the game that I was actually mentioning in the beginning of this video, which the graphics some of the graphics on it, like the backgrounds are still, or you're like this tiny mouse in a big world, and then the water's there, but the water is not moving. It's static. And I'm not sure why they did that on the Quest 2, but I did see a video of the graphics on the PC, and the water was actually water, I believe. So quote me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure why I did that, or maybe a graphical fidelity on the headset or something like that. But nonetheless, the game is very enjoyable. It is about 3 to 4 hours long, so it's not a huge game, but it really puts you in this world of guiding this mouse. The actual cool part about it is that the puzzle solving, you as the reader is what they call you in the game, is guiding this mouse, but you're actually using the controllers to maybe, let's say, open a door and the mouse goes through the door, or kind of spin this thing around where the mouse goes through it. So you actually have to interact with the environment to guide this mouse. I believe her name is Quill, but this mouse through the levels. So it's very interactive. It's one of those that I was into the story, I was into the combat, I was into the puzzle solving because I love puzzle games. So it's one of those that I really, really, really enjoyed, and I will be playing again. And the last game that I've been playing, that I play regularly, just like the other ones, is 11 Table Tennis. This is a VR ping pong game where you can play the computer to try to level yourself up, or you can play actual people online, which I really do like. I play a little bit of both. I kind of warm up and practice with the computer, and then sometimes I go and play one or two people online. But hey, let me tell you, you actually break a sweat playing this game. Um, I have I will tell you, it gets pretty competitive, and the people on the other side, you wouldn't believe how good these people are. They serve it really good. So I can handle my own. I can kind of sometimes keep up with the really good players, but sometimes they just demolish me. So I hate being demolished. So it just motivates me to kind of step it up and practice even more. But like I said, this is an actual workout that I do get sweaty on. The physics on this game is actually really good, but if for some reason you're playing and you feel like you're hitting it too hard or too soft or whatever, you can go into the settings and change that. You can actually go into the settings and change a lot of the stuff, which is great, that the developers included that, but you can change almost anything in the settings. So if you're into table tennis or ping pong at all, and you're thinking about getting a Quest, or you have one, I highly suggest downloading this game. I think it is paid. I'm not sure if it's $10 or $20, but it's definitely worth it. And that's it. That's my overview and sort of review of the Oculus Quest 2. I believe that it is a great, great VR headset for the price, that you can actually use with the PC if you wanted to. But is a standalone device that can get you in the door with some of these VR games, and some of them are really fun. I know there's a lot of other ones like Beat Saber and stuff like that, but I haven't dabbled in, and I haven't really played those games as much. I kind of just like the slower paced games, something that I'm not moving really fast, because those games usually tend to make me a little dizzy at the end of it. So the games that I play here don't get me dizzy. That's why I keep going back and playing them. But for $2.99 or $3.99, whichever version you decide to go with, I really do highly recommend this device if you're thinking about doing VR. And I haven't even touched on watching Netflix or watching YouTube on this thing. That's for a whole separate video. I can go on and on about this device, but this is a great virtual reality headset at an affordable price. I do highly recommend, if you're considering it, just go ahead and get one if you can find one in stock. The only reason I would say just be careful is because this is almost a year old, and they might come up with a pro version or Oculus Quest 3 maybe in another year or so. So if that's something that's important to you, maybe hold off for now. But if you don't really care about that, and you just want to get the headset, and you're considering it, I would say, if you have the money, go ahead and buy it. It's a great purchase. It keeps me entertained for hours on end. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you do want to get the headset, you can use my affiliate link in the description, and you'll be helping me out a ton. And you can have your Quest 2. So that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video talking about the Quest 2, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, help me out with a like and a sub, and consider maybe hitting the notification bell if you want, or share the video if you want. And I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all the feedback and comments that you guys leave on my channel. It really motivates me to continue to make videos like this, and I will be making a few more videos down the line on the Quest 2. That's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.